At 9:47 a.m., the servers went silent. By 9:48 a.m., $300 million had already begun evaporating. By 9:49 a.m., the founder was in an ambulance. He never returned to the office, and no one ever explained why. Before jump into the story, like and subscribe to Rich or Ruined for shocking true money stories and the lessons that can save your financial future. The company was called Axiom, a logistics startup based in Atlanta that promised to revolutionize how America moved goods. Their AI software, they claimed, could predict supply chain disruptions before they happened. Hurricanes, port strikes, fuel spikes. The system saw everything, and in 2023, Wall Street believed it. The founder was Derek Vance, 37 years old, a former truck driver turned self-taught coder. No Ivy League degree, no Silicon Valley connections. Just a man who had spent 10 years watching the logistics industry break small businesses. He said he built Axiom to fix what he had suffered. Investors loved his story. They loved his accent, his calloused hands, the way he spoke about real America instead of algorithms. Within 18 months, Axiom raised $300 million from top venture firms. The valuation hit $2.4 billion. Derek became the face of the everyman founder. The product worked beautifully, at least that's what the demos showed. In front of investors, Axiom's dashboard would light up with predictions. A storm in the Gulf would delay shipments by 3 days. A strike at Long Beach would raise freight costs by 12%. Every prediction came true. Behind the scenes, something was wrong. Axiom's engineers were quitting, not quietly, loudly. Some walked out mid-shift. Others sent furious emails to HR before disappearing. When recruiters called them, they said the same thing. Don't work there, just don't. The official reason was burnout. Startup life is hard. Long hours, high pressure, but the engineers who left weren't just tired, they were scared. One of them, a data scientist named Priya, told a friend that Derek had asked her to do something she couldn't live with. She wouldn't say what. By the second year, Axiom had over 200 employees, a gleaming office in downtown Atlanta, a mural of Derek's face in the lobby. The culture was worship. Every meeting began with a story about Derek's journey from truck driver to billionaire. Failure was not discussed. The product, however, was not improving. Clients complained that predictions were wrong. Shipments arrived late. Inventory vanished. Axiom's support team blamed external factors and closed tickets. But the internal dashboards told a different story. The AI wasn't learning. It was guessing. Priya had discovered the truth months before she quit. Axiom's AI wasn't predicting disruptions. It was reacting to them after they happened, then backdating the alerts to look predictive. A simple timestamp trick. Any junior developer could see it. But no one was looking. She confronted Derek in his office. He didn't yell. He didn't deny. He sat quietly, then asked her a question that still haunts her. Do you know why investors don't check the timestamps? She said nothing. Derek answered his own question. Because they don't want to be wrong. Priya resigned the next day. She signed a 20-page non-disclosure agreement and received 6 months of severance. In exchange, she promised never to speak about Axiom's technology. She kept that promise for exactly 11 months. Then, the servers crashed. The crash happened during Axiom's biggest client demo. A Fortune 500 retail chain was watching live as Axiom predicted a snowstorm would delay their Midwest shipments. The prediction appeared on screen. Then the dashboard froze. Then it went black. Then every prediction vanished. The client's CEO turned to Derek. What just happened? Derek smiled. Technical glitch happens to everyone. But his hands were shaking. His voice cracked. Within an hour, the client demanded a full audit of Axiom's systems. Derek refused. The client walked. Then another walked. Panic spread through Axiom's investors. They had poured $300 million into a black box. No one had ever seen the actual code. No one had ever audited the servers. Derek always said the technology was too sensitive to share. They had believed him. Now they demanded access. Derek stalled for 3 weeks. He hired lawyers. He signed confidentiality agreements. He threatened lawsuits. But the investors were no longer afraid of him. They were afraid of looking stupid. On a Friday morning, they forced their way into Axiom's server room. What they found was worse than fraud. The servers were running a basic open-source forecasting model, free software anyone could download. The proprietary AY was a configuration file with Derek's name on it. The entire $300 million empire was built on a $0 download. But that wasn't the worst part. Buried in the logs was a timestamp record. Axiom had never predicted anything. Every prediction was generated after the fact, or then backdated to look prophetic. The company had been guessing in real time and rewriting history in the database. Derek had vanished by noon. His car was still in the parking lot. His phone was on his desk. His wallet was in his jacket. Security cameras showed him walking to the elevator at 9:47 a.m. He never reached the lobby. The elevator opened on an empty car. The police searched for 3 days. They found nothing. No note, no call, no trace. Derek Vance, the truck driver who built a $2.4 billion lie, had disappeared into the same building where he had fooled the world. Employees said the elevator still stops on his floor sometimes. No one presses the button. Priya broke her silence after Derek vanished. She told investigators everything: the timestamp trick, the open-source software, the non-disclosure agreements. But her testimony revealed that at least 15 engineers had quit because they couldn't stomach the lie. None of them spoke, until it was too late. The investors sued each other. The clients sued the investors. The banks sued everyone. Axiom's assets were sold for less than $2 million. The mural of Derek's face was painted over. The office became a co-working space. No one mentions the name Axiom anymore, but sometimes late at night former employees check the old servers. They're still running. The open-source model still churns, and every few weeks a new prediction appears. Not backdated this time. Real, accurate, as if something is still watching the supply chains of America. No one knows who turned the servers back on. No one knows who maintains the code, and no one can explain why the predictions are now correct. Derek Vance is still missing, but somewhere in the dark logic of Axiom's machines, something is still learning, still predicting, still waiting.